Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, The Cognitive Keeper, your partner in cognitive health and aging well. Today, we're diving into something fascinating and honestly pretty hopeful. We're talking about Alzheimer's disease, brain inflammation, and how drugs like Ozempic, yes, the same ones making headlines for weight loss, might actually help protect against dementia. But before we get to that, we need to talk about something most people don't know much about: the brain's immune system. Specifically, these tiny but mighty cells called microglia. They're the unsung heroes of your brain, and understanding how they work and what happens when they don't is key to understanding Alzheimer's. So let's start there. Okay, let's talk about microglia. These are specialized immune cells in your brain, and their job is huge. Think of them as the brain's cleanup crew. They're constantly patrolling, looking for toxins, damaged cells, and debris, basically anything that doesn't belong. When they find something, they engulf it, break it down, and clear it out. This process is called phagocytosis, and it's absolutely critical for keeping your brain healthy. Why? Because your brain is like a high-performance machine. It's always working, always firing neurons, and that creates waste. If that waste isn't cleared away, it builds up, and that's where problems start. Imagine your kitchen trash piling up for weeks. That is not good. Now, imagine that happening in your brain. When microglia can't do their job properly, toxins and debris accumulate. This buildup can lead to inflammation, which is like throwing gasoline on a fire. And here's the kicker. Chronic inflammation in the brain is now believed to be a major driver of Alzheimer's disease. Now, let's talk about inflammation. We've all heard of it. It's your body's natural response to injury or infection. But in the brain, inflammation is a double-edged sword. A little bit can be helpful, like when microglia are fighting off an infection. But too much? That's where things go south. Chronic inflammation damages neurons, the brain's communication network. It disrupts the delicate balance your brain needs to function properly. Over time, this can lead to memory loss, confusion, and other symptoms of dementia. And here's where the story gets really interesting. For decades, Alzheimer's research focused on two things: amyloid beta plaques and tau tangles. These are sticky proteins that build up in the brains of people with Alzheimer's. The theory was that these plaques and tangles were the main cause of the disease. But here's the problem. Drugs that target amyloid beta and tau tangles haven't been very effective at stopping or reversing Alzheimer's. So scientists started looking elsewhere, and they found inflammation. Turns out inflammation might be the real villain here. It's not just a side effect of Alzheimer's. It could be the primary driver of the disease. And microglia, they're right at the center of this new theory. This shift in focus is huge. Instead of just targeting amyloid beta and tau tangles, researchers are now looking at ways to calm inflammation in the brain. And that's where drugs like Ozempic come in, the weight loss drug. Yep, that's the one. Ozempic and other drugs in its class are called GLP-1 receptor agonists. They were originally developed to treat type 2 diabetes, but they've since been approved for weight management. Now, scientists are discovering they might have another superpower: protecting the brain. So, how does a diabetes drug help the brain? It all comes back to inflammation. Studies suggest that GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic or semaglutide, its generic name, can cross the blood-brain barrier. Once they're in the brain, they seem to do two things. First, they reduce inflammation. Remember those overactive microglia we talked about? Semaglutide appears to calm them down, preventing them from causing too much damage. Second, they help improve insulin sensitivity in the brain. Yes, your brain uses insulin, and insulin resistance in the brain has been linked to Alzheimer's. By improving insulin signaling, these drugs might help protect neurons and keep your brain functioning smoothly. Now, this research is still in its early stages, but the results are promising. Some studies have shown that people taking GLP-1 drugs have a lower risk of developing dementia. And while we don't yet have definitive proof that these drugs can treat Alzheimer's, the possibility is incredibly exciting. So, let's connect the dots. Microglia are the brain's cleanup crew, but when they're overworked or dysfunctional, they can cause inflammation. That inflammation damages neurons and contributes to Alzheimer's. Meanwhile, drugs like Ozempic seem to calm inflammation and improve brain health. It's a perfect example of how science evolves. We started with amyloid beta, shifted to inflammation, and now we're looking at drugs that were originally designed for something completely different. It just goes to show how interconnected our bodies are and how much we still have to learn. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the latest in brain health, aging, and general wellness. Got a question or a topic you'd like us to cover? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and remember, your brain is amazing. Take care of it, and I'll see you in the next video.